Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up if you want. Today we're jumping back into r/neckbeardstories, baby. Actually, that's a lie. It comes from my personal subreddit r/ReddX reads. That means that it is a Red exclusive from our good friend user Ethan Ralph is fat. He's been having so many adventures out there in the world, bringing his research back, and I do appreciate that so very much. Today we've got the tale of Karenbeard, which already that is just absolutely horrifying. I can't imagine anything worse than a Karen neckbeard, and today we will all witness it in action. So just get ready for this, I do suppose. We are live streaming this on Twitch. Go ahead and come through if you should like. That link is in the description. There's also other links in the description. We'll get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this r/neckbeard stories. Cringe. Karenbeard, the wife from hell. Oh my God, Karenbeard is the genesis of all those boomer memes that are like, oh, take my wife, please, right? I'm pretty sure. She caused all of this. God, how I wish that was true. God, how I wish it was only one wife out there being abusive, but yeah, I see it more often than I like to admit, if I'm being quite frank. Anyway, hello, new friends and old. It is I, Ethan Ralph is fat, here with a tale of a single encounter with one of the most loathsome Legbeards I've ever encountered in my life. We will be rewinding to a time in my life when I was working for a used game store that no longer exists. Sounds like a sick job, honestly. I like to think that I would have enjoyed that. Probably wouldn't have, though. It's just like any other job, just with video games. Now, what was unique about this game reseller is that we as employees received a small commission on everything that we sold. Sick. Which made the work environment very competitive and sometimes downright hostile. That's fine. I'll step on some necks. Give me the $20. I need it. I mean, like, legitimately hostile. Several fights were had between the manager and the diva salesman that took as much overtime as the store would allow. Thankfully, it was not the kind of hostile work environment you would endure working for Blizzard, for instance. But okay, it was still pretty intolerable, which is why one day I would quit with no notice and just lock the store in the middle of the day. God damn. What did they do that made you feel this certain type of way? Aside from just existing, I guess. Before all of that happened, though, I got to meet Karenbeard, one of the few people who has legitimately made me fear for my freedom in a work setting. With that odd introduction out of the way, let me introduce our cast. You mean like you're gonna punch her and go to jail, or she's gonna lock you up, chain you to a radiator? Either of those theories, slightly plausible. Oh, we've got our OP. Hey, that's me! The melting pot of friendship known as Ethan Ralph is fat. I'm a manlet, femboy, who dresses like a scene kid and listens to enough AFI to make any 90s kid overflow with nostalgia. Yeah, I guess I'm overflowing a little bit now, too. 3 letters, that's all it takes to get my nostalgia muscles pumping? Okay, I guess. During this story, I'm working in a failing GameStop knockoff, mostly to make connections and get out of the house after excising my beardy roommate from my life. But you wrote exercising? That's funny. Like exorcist? Or exercising like, you know, going on a run? I guess he's the one that did go on a run, isn't he? There's a joke in there, someone. DIY it. I don't know. Boyle was the diva salesman who would literally push you to the ground to make a sale due to the small commission that we received for selling items. I mean, I kind of get it, you know? Like I said, I would probably step on some necks, especially at an earlier time in my life when I really needed the money. He would often get very aggressive if you took any sale that he perceived as his own. Otherwise, he was a likable and affable guy. Pretty fun to smoke and talk with. Okay, but the likable and affable thing, that's just a mask. You realize that, right? Deep down, he is just a complete dick and 100% money motivated. And I don't think that we would get along. Probably we'd be competitors. And I know I'm bigger than Ethan Ralph is fat. You ain't about to push me over. Let's battle over this 20-cent commission. That's worth having a fight over, right? Not as a grown man in my 30s with things going for me in my life, but in my 20s when I just didn't care, sure. Yeah, I could see myself doing that. Anyways, Cam is a genuinely nice man with a passion for gaming. He was a big fan of new systems, new games, new tech, and all sorts of other nerd stuff that we sold at the store. The man was also somewhat mentally disabled. I couldn't tell you what specific disability he had, nor do I want to speculate, but he did in fact have some sort of disability that will become important later on in the story. And he is married to Karenbeard. Oh, I already know that Cam is going to be the victim of this story. You can see the train rolling down the tracks, but there's really nothing you can do to stop it. You just got to go, okay, I guess it is what it is. I hope it turns out semi-okay. Karenbeard, KB for short, was a corpulent woman who wore what can best be described as the moo-moo that Homer Simpson wore when he tried to gain enough weight to work from home. A lovely floral pattern, yes. What a classic episode. She had the temperament of an angry bull and smelled worse than the pen that a bull might emerge from. Hey, what a coincidence, because she was also full of bull shooba-dooba-doop. The few portions of her skin exposed to air festered with infections and sores. Oh, most likely bed sores. She is the Legbeard of our story, and you shall see why in just a short time. Oh my God, dude. What? That description is horrifying. Just walking around with exposed wounds from laying in bed for too long? Oh, you're a mess. You're a mess. Cam's got a mental disability. He doesn't know that you're supposed to rotate a coma patient. He also didn't realize that she's in a coma while still alive. There's some weird stuff going on here, man. I don't know where to place any of it. Please help me out. OP, make all of this make sense for me, please. With all that out of the way, please join me on yet another journey of soul-crushing cringe. Like every story ever told, allow me to begin at the beginning. The year is 2013, and the new consoles are launching. Boyle was feverishly pushing pre-orders for those new consoles. He was a one-man hurricane. He dashed between our two registers, rapidly dominating any conversation that I might dare to have with a potential customer. God, he's so annoying already. I'll give you the commission to stay out of my hair. How about that? No, I would never do that, honestly. I had relegated myself to the simple task of testing a console that had been traded in. Part of this was due to laziness, but a much larger portion was the lack of desire to get into an argument with Boyle. See, Boyle and I had a shaky ceasefire over sales in the store after a heated argument. I allowed him to hoover up all the sales when the boss wasn't around because he wanted that extra 20 bucks on his check, and he would just leave me alone and not narc on me for shaking hands with Mary Jane every couple of hours. Honestly, sounds like a win-win for OP. You get to do all the work and I get to go smoke. I love that. Yeah, I might agree to that one as well. When you put it that way, how can I say no? We were both happy with this arrangement. It allowed me to help people with technical issues, jibber jabber with the regulars, and veg out whenever I wanted. It also allowed Boyle to maximize his checks which he really cared about, apparently. Yeah, an extra 20 bucks. See, that's not very much commission at all. When I was working at Radio Shack, we at least got like, I think it was 20 bucks per phone. So you did 6 phones in a week. Hey, guess what? Extra 120 bucks in your check. It was pretty nice. But yeah, you think I'm gonna squabble about a few cents? Nah, man. I'm gonna go smoke a bone in the back. Not in a weird way. The day proceeded like this for quite a while before Cam entered the store. He was walking around picking up various games and things that he wanted. When he approached the register, arms filled with items, there was a lull in customers. Boyle went into his typical spiel and began upselling. Boyle, hey Cam, you want to go ahead and pre-order the PS4 or the Xbox One while you're here? Cam, absolutely. Which one should I get? Boyle, man, why don't you get both? Yeah, that's the right answer. Just buy everything, bro. Why not? These are going to be hard to come by with the holiday season coming up. So whichever you don't want, you could always resell. It's not worth it, bro. Don't do it, Cam. You're wasting money. You really think you're going to be able to sell a PS4 for more than you bought it for? Maybe a PS5, sure, if it's still in the box. But as soon as you unbox that thing, it's like driving a new car off the lot. Forget about it. It's like 50% depreciation instantly. Cam says, you really think they're going to be that rare? Boyle, I ordered 5 of each so I can resell them. Scarcity breeds competition. I imagine I'll be able to double my investment. Oh, he's a scalper that works at a game store, or worked. This is part of the reason the game store shut down, isn't it? Boyle wasn't lying, at least not completely. He did, in fact, pre-order numerous consoles. It was a lot more than 5, though. He had friends and family also come in and place pre-orders. Boyle might have been money hungry, but he wasn't greedy or stupid. He knew what he was doing when it came to making a buck. I guess I don't remember the fight over Xbox One or PlayStation 4. I didn't have money at that time. I only got a Switch like 2 or 3 years after it came out. Now that I do have some extra dollary dues, I look around, I'm like, oh God, people still scalping PlayStations this many years later. PlayStation doesn't even have any games. Come at me. It's a joke, but not really. Scalpers go against the wall. Cam, well, if that's the case, then I'll pre-order 2 of each. Boyle, that's awesome. Here, why don't you take a look at the release titles while I get those punched in? Do you want to go ahead and get some extra controllers? Bro, this is the upsell of the century. I came in looking to spend 60 bucks. I spent 6,000. Forget about it. Although he is a salesman, I can't say that he's not doing his job well. I don't think Boyle's the character that we're supposed to hate. We have yet to see the appearance of Karenbeard. Cam thinks about it, just saying, well, Boyle, how about we just order them for you? And if you don't want them, you could just return them. Oh my God, bro. They need to get him a job selling cars. That is what he was born to do. This slippery scumbag. Cam says, okay, that sounds good. Boyle ran down a whole list of things to attach to the sale as the conversation carried on. I just shook my head. I had never liked how aggressively Boyle sold to Cam. Not knowing exactly how he was handicapped always made it feel wrong. An issue I had brought up to Boyle when the pre-orders were complete and Cam's purchases were made. OP, do you think it's okay to be selling so aggressively to Cam? Boyle, absolutely. OP, you know he's handicapped, right? Boyle, no, I don't know that. Yeah, ignorance is bliss. Just choose to turn a blind eye to that. Maybe he just talks funny. Took too many shots to the head as a semi-professional boxer. I don't know him or his life. I just know that he has money to spend. OP. Okay. Well, I'm telling you, he is handicapped, so now you know. Does that affect your opinion, Boyle? Absolutely not. He's allowed to do whatever he wants with his money. It's not my job to be his financial advisor. Yeah, but maybe just a little bit of consideration. How about? I don't know why you're doing this just to get like a pittance on your check. Taking advantage of this guy for hundreds of dollars still ain't gonna save the store, still ain't gonna be enough to make you happy. Boyle should definitely be using his powers for good instead of evil. I hope later on in life he learns that, you know? You're taking advantage of a human being on behalf of a company who doesn't give a damn about you, if we can both be completely honest. If Boyle dropped dead tomorrow, the company would replace him the day after. All this loyalty because he makes an extra 20 bucks? Like, are you kidding me? OP. I'm not saying you have to monitor his spending. I'm just saying maybe don't push products so hard onto him, Boyle. Owner has specifically told me to sell as hard as I can to whoever I can, and that includes Cam. Yeah, owner knows that the store is drowning, but like I said, owner doesn't care about you, Boyle. Give dude what he came in for, nothing less, nothing more. How about that? I mean, Boyle was correct. The owner had heard my complaints about this and overridden my concerns in the past. As far as I know, what Boyle was doing was not illegal. Maybe immoral, but yeah, not illegal. So I let it rest. I mean, you can't change his mind, honestly. How do you bestow morals on a man that refuses to acknowledge that they even exist? So yeah, not worth spending more energy on. Let karma take care of it, I suppose. There was no point in arguing this any further. That wouldn't stop me from arguing it with Boyle again in the future, but for now, I would indeed let it rest. Well, days passed into weeks, and soon that fateful November came. We were slammed with a bunch of people picking up their consoles. Cam, of course, showed up and was upsold even more stuff. Where the hell's he getting this money? Is he like independently wealthy? Some sort of monarch that's just been inbred a few times? I don't know what's happening. Maybe he's just going wild with a credit card? Jesus. Cam ended up walking out having spent upwards of $3,000, which was good for Boyle, but which would be a walking catastrophe for me in a little less than a week. Oh, Karenbeard's gonna get mad that Cam spent all this money. Okay, I see where this is going now. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I was opening up the shop by myself a week after Cam had picked up his consoles. I'd cleaned everything and got it ready to go. I took a moment to look over my opening checklist and take a sip of my coffee. A loud pounding punctuated the silent moment as the glass of the storefront shook violently. Great. I get to deal with crazy first thing in the morning, I said internally as I walked to open the door. The door was immediately shoved open as Karenbeard huffed into the storefront with Cam in tow. Her face was red, as you would expect a very angry person's face to be. Karenbeard, are you the manager? OP, the manager on duty. How can I help you? Karenbeard, did you sell my husband these? She flourished one meaty arm backwards, indicating the consoles and games in a small personal shopping cart that Cam was pushing. OP, I didn't personally sell them to him. Karenbeard, but the store did, right? OP, I do remember seeing him buy that here, so yeah, he acquired it in this store. Karenbeard, are you sassing me? What? I'm answering your questions, dum-dum. You don't like the way I'm answering them? That's too bad. Go talk to the actual owner. Maybe he could deal with this problem. The problem not being that your husband was sold a bunch of games, but just you as a human being, you are a problem, Karenbeard. We've had what, 3 sentences? I already hate her. OP, no, I'm just speaking very deliberately. If you'll please follow me to the counter, we can discuss this further. I walked towards the glass counter and behind it as Karenbeard continued to verbally assault me. Karenbeard, don't turn your back to me! I want you to return all these things right now! How can I lead you somewhere without turning my back to you? Can I ask you that? OP just says, I can't do that. Karenbeard, why not? OP, the store has a no refund policy. All sales are final. It says it on the door, on the receipt, and right here. I said this while tapping on a sticker on the glass countertop that now served as a barrier between me and this stench beast that was now beginning to stink up the joint. It was a smell not dissimilar to vinegar and armpit stink. Ugh, God. At least it's not gangrenous quite yet. All those sores and whatnot. But yeah, given how often I infer she showers, gangrene is only about a month away. Karenbeard, my husband is mentally handicapped. He doesn't know any better. You degenerates took advantage of him. Wasn't me, bro. OP, no one took advantage of him. He bought what he wanted and he has every right to do that. Oh, poor Ethan Ralph is fat, you know, thrust between a rock and a hard place. Now he has to defend the actions that he was so against earlier on in the week. Welcome to the corporate hellscape, I guess. Karenbeard, no, he can't do whatever he wants. He is. Insert a word that we don't say anymore for the neurodivergent. Probably starts with an R. OP, ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you not to say that word. She then shouted the word several times. She ended this verbal flourish by calling me a degenerate. Insert word that we don't use for gay people anymore. Probably starts with an F. OP, okay. I understand you're upset, but I am not gonna help you if you continue to use that kind of language and verbally attack me. Somebody get Ethan Ralph is fat in a ward for his customer service level right now. I'll be hopping across that counter. I'll be like, let me help you out of the store. This is ridiculous. Karenbeard, you already said you weren't gonna help me. What choice do I have? At this point, she began crying visible tears. Now, I'm no expert on tear authenticity. To me, though, the tears didn't seem real, and I stand by that assertion. Taste them, OP. That's the only way you can tell if they're really real. They gotta be super extra salty to be real. Pardon me, ma'am. Let me just... fake. Get out. Karenbeard, you don't understand. My husband and his impulsive buying are going to make us homeless. He's too handicapped to know when to stop. We're going to be homeless and have nothing to eat but these stupid video majigs. I have a suggestion for you. Why don't you help him out? Why don't you get a job and help him out? Or maybe just assist him. When he says, honey, I'm going to the video game store, you'd be like, I gotta come with you. I know what you will do. I gotta save you from yourself. But instead, she's just intent on whatever she's doing, being comatose while still conscious. OP, I understand your frustration, ma'am, but we don't do returns. I can call up my boss and see if he'll make an exception. Karenbeard, you said you're the manager on duty. Why don't you make an exception? OP, cause I would lose my job. Yeah, pretty simple math there, isn't it? At this point, the mask of sadness slipped as she started to get angry and started gesticulating rabidly. Her face grew even redder, and her breath became labored from 5 to 10 minutes of sustained hollering. Karenbeard, it's manipulative a-holes like you who are the reason that me and Cam are getting divorced. Cam, we're getting divorced?
Divorce.
Stop laughing.
God, that sucks. He's the last one to know, or maybe she's just saying that to win some more sympathy, or I don't really know what's going on here. Obviously, she likes being with him. She's probably taking advantage of him herself. She just doesn't like when other people take advantage of him. Karenbeard responds to her beloved husband by saying, "Shut up, Cam! I will tell you when you can speak." Oh my God, dude. That divorce has sounded better all the time, honestly. Cam, I just thought it was fine. I know we have more than enough in the bank. Cam said this as he began legitimately crying. He said each word through a choked sob. Oh my God, dude. I bet they do have enough in the bank. I bet this boy's making all the money. And this fat sow of a wife is just like, enough is never enough. You know, give me the paper. I'll sign the paper for you, Cam. We need to get you away from this ham beast, baby boy. This is when the switch flipped for me. Whatever she wanted the money back for had nothing to do with financial hardship. Furthermore, she was abusing her neurodivergent husband in my damn store. Boyle might be an upselling grifter, but at least he thought Cam was able to make his own decisions, a sentiment which his wife clearly did not share. OP, ma'am, I am not going to do anything for you until you calm down. Please don't do anything for her ever, OP. She's the worst. I thought I hated Boyle, but I hate this ham beast way more. And yeah, Ethan Ralph is fat makes like the best point. Boyle at least knows that this dude is capable of independent thought. He's the one that chose to come down to the game store, isn't he? A young couple walked into the store as our OP spoke, and this drew attention away from Karenbeard for a second. The sound of scattering metal and plastic alerted me to the fact that Karenbeard had nabbed a small box cutter from the pencil holder near the register. She clumsily opened it, and I threw my hands up and stepped back. Karenbeard, I swear to God I'll cut myself if you don't return all this garbage. Wow, dude, this is escalating really quickly.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
OP, hey, you guys who just came in, please note where my hands are. Please note that I am nowhere near this woman, and please do not leave me alone with her. You're speaking very clearly and concisely, and I think that's valuable in a situation like this. Good God, what a maniac. At least she's not threatening to cut you. Threatening to cut yourself, I'll be like, bet. Do it, you won't. My blood was racing. This was an altogether unique situation for me. Robbery or violence I was equipped to deal with. I've dealt with those before, but someone threatening to hurt themselves as a form of retribution right in front of me? Yeah, that was new. Took me a few seconds to regain some semblance of composure. The young couple was taking pictures from a safe distance, and this gave me the small amount of confidence that I needed. See, this is that social media generation. You think maybe they're chronicling it for the police, but maybe they're just like, world star. OP, look, if you're really feeling like ending it, why don't we call the unalive hotline? They could help you. Karenbeard, I'll call them myself. She said this, then pulled out her cell phone and called what I assumed to be the specific hotline. Yeah, she got them on speed dial. There's something really strange going on with her. What followed was her shouting the same arguments into the phone, all of it while crying, demanding that whoever was on the other end convince me that I had to do what she said. I used this time to discreetly walk away and call the police. I told them as much as I could out of earshot and left my cell phone out. Karenbeard eventually hung up the line after screaming something insensitive about gay people, as she is wont to do, apparently. Karenbeard, they said you have to return everything, or you could go to jail for manslaughter if I hurt myself. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't say that. That's not how that works. OP. Okay, well, guess I can't argue with that. Place the box cutter on the counter, and I will start refunding everything. Karenbeard. Now, was that so hard, you simple? Insert another slur of your choosing, I guess. OP. Well, I do have to obey what the unalive hotline says. Yes, authorities they are, indeed. Eventually, she did put the box cutter on the counter and began hefting things onto the counter from the cart. I pretended to be returning them until the police and paramedics arrived. After a screaming match and some more threats of self-harm, she was carted away by an officer and the paramedics. Cam was literally shaking and crying as I began rebagging all of his merchandise. OP, are you okay, Cam? Cam, I don't know what's going on. What did I do? Why is she divorcing me? I didn't know she was divorcing me. OP, it's gonna be okay, Cam. I know this is scary, but I'm sure it's all gonna work out. Yeah, sometimes divorce is for the best, honestly. Cam, do you think so? OP, everything usually works out given enough time. OP, just such a wise young man, you know. The police spoke with me and Cam and we gave our statements. At some point, the owner wandered in and started asking questions. He commended me for not giving a refund in the face of such, odd circumstances. That's really the focal point for you? Hey, good job on not giving the refund. God, the owner's terrible too. I love it. I do feel bad that ROP has to be surrounded by such trash constantly, but hopefully Cam comes out of it all right. I know OP has, so all's well that ends well, I guess. I didn't feel any joy in the commendations from the owner, however. What I had seen that day was scarring, to say the least. I have seen a lot of domestic types of situations in my life, but this was a unique one. Despite Boyle's constant upselling, we all liked Cam. We all had no idea that he had it like this at home. As far as we knew, he was just a happy nerd with a bunch of toys. Kind of like a big kid spending some money. Based on what he would tell me later, it sounded like his wife did spend some time under supervision. She came back and acted like nothing insane had happened. Yeah, just repress all of that. Ego really is fascinating, isn't it? All that went down, and for her, she's recalibrated it into just another day. It was just a thing that happened. We're moving past it. Meanwhile, Ethan Ralph is fat is sitting here years later like, Jesus Christ, do you remember that insane woman? I often do wonder what happened to that marriage. If Cam's okay, if he's happy, I don't know. I just remember that one fateful day, I met the sore-covered slob known as Karenbeard. Ugh. I often like to end stories with a tight resolution, but sadly, this one doesn't really have one of those. I don't know what became of Cam or his marriage. The game store eventually folded and was bought by GameStop, and it was around that time that I left midday with no notice. Oh, so it's GameStop that made you quit. Yeah, that makes a whole lot more sense, honestly. I do know that Boyle still works in sales, as this was not the only time that I had worked with him. I just hope that Cam's doing well. And if you're ever in a similar situation, that you will handle it better than I did. Honestly, I don't think anybody could have handled it better than you did. That's exactly what needed to be done, right? All that being said, thank you for touring this weird snapshot of my life with me. It's always nice to get these tales told. I hope that you'll take care of yourselves and the people around you. The infernal storm, eternal in its rage, sweeps and drives the spirits with its blast. It swirls them, lashing them with punishment. Dante, the Divine Comedy. Oh, a little bit of literary edification there at the end. See, that's why OP writes such good stories. That's why I see it go up and I'm like, I gotta consume that immediately because he reads a lot of books. Obviously, I am on OP's side. I do think that the tears were fake and she's making all this up to garner some sympathy. The marriage, it probably still is intact, or I hope that it's not, because that would mean Cam is miserable. But maybe he needs somebody to care for him. I don't know. Let's just hope that Karenbeard had a revelation while she was in psychiatric care and everything turned out different. Although I know probably it didn't. Karenbeard is the type to keep Cam under lock and key until the end of days. If he ever has enough self-realization to try and leave, she'll do exactly what she did with the box cutter and threaten him. And such a terrible situation. But I don't know, man. I definitely do hope that Cam is doing well. And if he's really stuck in this situation, then I hope that he gets to taste the sweet embrace of death. It's not always the only escape, okay? Sometimes that's how it be, I guess. It's a terrible joke. We could try another one. How about the unalive hotline said you can't divorce me or you'll get charged with homicide. And Cam just doesn't know any better to question it. Or maybe he'll be like, jail's better than this. I got to bail. But I got to bail too, friends. I really enjoyed this story. I hope you did as well. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe. Super important stuff. We got links in the description, plugs, playlist, podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Teespring. If you're trying to rock that merch, we did live stream this whole thing on Twitch, but we've also got other social medias, Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Yay! I'd also like to thank my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous channel members and Patreon patrons, as I do every episode, Jerry much. So thank you too.
Dazzle Misery, Skylar Rain, The Fez Waiter, That One Gay Cop, Valley Eye Crane, Sheeza, Rosie Rainbow, Slow Spooner, Sean Campbell, Heaven Sent, Robert Thibodeau, Jackie McQuitty, Grim Strap, Trainboy, AJ Collins, The Tiny Boy, Tooth Plushy, Corey Arts, Kelly Clark, Legolas Loser, Florentic Waver, Dungeon Bat, Billy D, Robert Waits, Brandon Ashcraft, John Endorse, Phantom Danica, Origami Steve, Skylar May, Amara, The Gypsy Barber, Fire Drake, Samantha, Death's Flagship, The Bearded Snake, and buy two, get one hand. Heading over to Patreon, we've got Miss Black, Harley Hohen, Robert Allen Waits, again, Camille Sarah, Chance with Blue Kraken, Roxanne Wolf, Sim, Jerry Conrad, Ingy Fluxer, I Need Coffee, Yummy Poo, Captain Cloud Jerry, Ellipses, Aaron Jerry, Deku, Esteban, Origami Steve, Santa Jerry, Silent Revolver, PCB, The Original Jerry, Ravencraft, Hamodius, The Fourth, Tick Jerry, Destiny Piper, Jerry, Kitsune, Salty Wizard, A Very Tired Jerry, feel that too, that's why I need a coffee, Justy Jargonia Jerry, and Frankenberry, ain't that hide bitch though, Assassin Pug Jerry, Baby Jerry, Bailey Joy, Peter Jerry, Benji and the Jets, Billy D, Bitch Gremlin, Blade Hero, Brown Dragon, Commander J Tank, Dr. Lux, Aaron Era, Esports, Rose Never Studio, Fire Drake, Gizmo Jack, Hadrian BR, Inquisitor Jerry, Irish Pirate, Lust the Blue Marble in a Mutiny, oh tragic, Iron Olive, Radiant Jam, JM Coon, Jerry Smith, Jerry Blacktail, Jerry Outlaw, Mother Trunker, Honk Honk, Jerry, I'm begging you, please don't take my beard. What? Jerry, wake up! I don't like this, Jerry, wake up! What is happening right now? John Hero, Crew, Cuddly Kraken, Lady Italian Greyhound, Dino, Lady in Awakening, Lauren Crow, Legitimate Girth, Miss Monday, Lord Jerry, Luca Vex was a race car driver. He was a good friend of mine. Never did win that checkered flag, but I helped him drink his wine. Like and subscribe, my Lady Nix, Melgar the Destroyer, Metal Flector, Needless King 89, Paragon Soul, Phantom of the Pines, Jerrykins, and Jerry Beth, Queens, Quaaludes, and Quagmires, Ram Tide, Lacrimates, Rose Jerry Miller, Sarita the Lolita, Scarlet's Coven, Sergeant Gay Cop, Bringer of the Law, Silo Imp, Steve Bugelli, Stephanie Goodner, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tomato, Tabby of the Blue, the Gypsy Barber, the Littlest Who aren't you fusky? This isn't even my final beard. Trying to find another Bob to get back in the real world. Vanguard Angel, VC3, Viking Jerry, Void the Comet Destroyer, Wiki Tech, Zephyr the Gargoyle, or Clay, Comrade Mooney, Kira, not another Jerry, but he is though, Cage Alex 9, Redwind, Bad Penny Lane, Not the Viper, Saints Blessing, Third Stuff, Venom Jerry, Jace Richardson, One Leg Jerry has returned from battle. Salute to you. A normal Jerry. All right, Red. For you, I bring Doritos, but I count on your expertise if they attract beards. Yeah, no one's good. We'll chase him off with soap. Admiral T-Take, Amber Alder, another stupid hipster, Atomic Jerry Sailor, Breaker of the Tom Army, Bartender Kelia, Big Dad Wolf, Broken Spine Horseradish, Cake Jerry, the original different Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Chevron 7 Lock, Chicago Panda, Corey does art sometimes, Cowbug and Cody, Cryptides, the Fawn Jerry, Defty Tuna, Dilf Jerry, Dwarfy Dude, Dwarven Ramsey, half the calories, all of the hate. Ghost of Alpha, Greymon 365, Heek Knot, Hydra Jerry, Solman, Janitor Jerry, roaming the streets of Finland, Jasmine, Jeffy, Geralt of Arabia, Jerry, but with two S's and an E, Jerry Springer, the results are in, you are not the neckbeard, Jerry the Sussy Baka, Jerry's mom has got it going on, check out the mustache on Jerry Aldo Rivera, Jerry Rocksters, Jerry Role-Playing Game, Keaton Tails, Kid Marvelous, Kids Again, Lucha Lovecraft, Machia CD, maybe next time Milkfed give Miss Duchess, Mr. Gas Mask, not Invisible Angel, Raptor Arc, Seldom Dark, Skybar, Ravenswood, Smegma Male Pride Set Jerry, and getting that cheese. God. Thanks, I hate it. Snary, that's Snob Jerry, Spoonie the Rogue, Spoopy Scary, Jerry Ton, all your season is coming up soon, Techno Dubs, the original Jerry, they call me Jerry Two Knives, Jerry Pie, Do It for the Jerry and Beyond, Tokyo Bird, Unkale, Vaughn, throws 2 liter Mountain Dew, grow my neckbeard, grow. It's Jerry time, holds ReddX Morpher, Hygiene, it's Jerry time, holds ReddX Morpher, Humility, and thank you to my gorgeous $1 patrons as well.
Bless up all the Jerrys and not Jerrys alike. Oh, you just lovely people. If you can afford to support monetarily, that's huge. If you can't, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoyed today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos. My phone's ringing, I gotta go. Always remember that you are loved, you are worthy. You definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, friends, bye-bye.